I can tell you anecdotally what I see, but we've been in business since 1964 and educating 4-year-olds since then. And I do know that we hear all the time about ask kindergarten teachers. They see kids coming from good quality early childhood programs being significantly different than the ones that are in poor quality or aren't getting a good experience in early childhood. And there is evidence showing that good early childhood education does really help kids. Now that the Head Start study was dealing with those, but there are other studies. Prairie Preschool study is a long, that is like a 20-year study that shows some real significant effects. That one showed that for every dollar that was invested in quality early childhood, it returned at least $7 in savings on remedial education, kids not going, going to prisons, all kinds of things. It showed some real returns on that investment, and that's been quoted lots of times for every $1.
I think Dawn supplied that. We read it, and I'm reading it over, going, it just doesn't sound like Waterford. We don't have a lot of people going to prison from our school systems in Waterford, so it was there was a lot of points in there that really seemed to be more of a larger city, inner city type of thing that just didn't seem to apply. So what we were really hoping for was somebody that had this magic study that had affluent society-based school, public school, and a long-term study that showed some deviation between non-4K and the 4K population.
What is your food program, free and non-eating and reduced population?
25%?
No, it was 16 and
19%.
Okay.
And that's off. I mean, if you had asked us 6 years ago, we would have been down about 12 or 13.
That's right, and yes.
So it's fairly low use.
I would request that Dawn make any comments at this time.
Sure, just the Head Start study also shows that the students who were not just isolated among the students who were similar low economic status benefited better when you put all the students together versus just in an isolated program. So I think that's important to remember. And then we know that 60% of our students are getting some kind of something from when they filled out their kindergarten registration for the kids who are now moving to first grade and the students coming into kindergarten, about 60% are doing 3 or 40%. We didn't report something or aren't doing something, we don't know which it is. But it may be good to do some more information from the public about that. And also I talked to Chris about contacting the superintendent in Milwaukee. They've been looking at their math data from the students who have been in 4K and where that's going. And I think that might be interesting to get some of that information to know what they're seeing, because I think they may be a better section to who we are. Yeah.
I think Milwaukee's more and more.
Yeah.
Your demographic.
Yeah,
Demographics are closer, although they're much larger than us.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
But I mean, I would want to see studies that go over to the end of elementary and middle school at least.
Yeah, and I don't know how long they have that data, but it might just be interesting to look at what effects they've had there. And then I think in Lake Geneva, when I talked to them, they have a different population than we do, and that they have a large Hispanic population, so they're different in that respect, but they have a lot of information regarding their financials and also encourage us to maybe come and look at their program of what that looks like. So I think another visit. I talked to Janet Glove and Lauren across there.
Talk to Dawn ahead of time, and then we'd like to hold this over one more month and offer one more month discussion on this before we bring it to the board. Have either table it or bring it to the board.
Yes.
First off, are there any more questions for David?
How does Mosquito Norway use theirs? Are they in school or in the daycares?
They're all in the daycares. They do not have room in their schools.
Okay.
So that situation is all in there. There are other districts that have a mix.
So they provide the teacher then for the half day?
In the Muskegon, Norway, it's all the community agencies provide staff. They're DPI licensed. There's a hiring process that involves the partners and the district in panels on the hiring of the 4K teachers.
The district then pays for their salaries then for that?
The district contracts with the agencies, and the agencies pay, so there's an employee of the agency, but the district pays the agency per pupil to provide the program. Now, the district provides oversight, and so there's still some
Curriculum.
that's correct. It's all the curriculum. I mean, the staff is all, the in-services and the professional development is all coordinated in this district. And so it's very, very similar to what district staff gets.
So is that a free service then to the students attending at
That's
the
correct.
local daycare?
That's correct. The parents, you cannot charge them anything. And the district can charge material fees and those things. But
Just not services?
that's correct. Now, the before and after school, before and after services, the parent pays for.
We have a principal in the audience.
I want to ask you a question. So what is, when the school district is overseeing the different agencies, what kind of responsibilities does the district have in overseeing? What's involved in that in terms of the instruction, the staffing, what happens there?
The employee is the agency's employee, so they are responsible for overseeing that employee. But the district is very much involved. So the district person is in those classrooms quite often. There are meetings of staff. The curriculum is all the same. The standards are all the same. The assessments are all the same. So it looks very much like a district program. If there is an issue with a specific staff person, the district isn't the one that will provide, that is the agency. So that's done through the contract. So the agency has to see to it that.
And who normally in the district is overseeing all of those? What takes on that role?
It's each district is different. In Muskegon, Norway, it was an administrator that oversaw that, and that was part of her responsibilities. And that's what happens typically in Waukesha. They have an early childhood center or an early learning center. That principal oversees all of the 15 partnerships, along with having early childhood in that building and some 4K in that building. Sure.
Any other questions?
I just wanted to add just a couple of thoughts. In the last 3 years, in my previous district, we implemented 4-year-old kindergarten as a community program with contracts with the daycare, and we provided the professional development at the beginning of the year, in service, all of that kind of information. I think a couple of key points that weren't mentioned that I'd just like to mention is that, just for us to keep in our mind, is that the social emotional work that you can do with 4-year-old kindergarten students is really important, helping them learn how to work together and helping them learn how to handle their own emotions was very much the beginning of the year, first quarter for those children. And then also because language plays so much a part of reading, with those children, that oral communication was really key in keeping them out of having so many needs. That's what we were looking at, having so many needs when we got in as kindergarten and first grade. There was some data early on showing that there was some growth in those areas.
your time and coming in.
You're welcome.
And I'm sure Chris has your contact information.
Yes, he does. It's great, thanks.
We have a few other items covered, so I think we'll move on.